As humans, we're always curious about everything, especially the unknown. It's why lost media has been surging in popularity over the years, people coming together to find stuff that has been missing for a very long time, be it music, video games, art, or TV shows. But to me and many others in the lost media community, some things are best left forgotten. I warn you all, some of the entries may not be for the faint of heart, so be advised. Now come along with me on this journey today, as we will be discussing lost media which should stay lost. LOL Superman. LOL Superman is a piece of lost media which is heavily speculated. People consistently go back and forth on if this one is even real, or if there's actually a copy out there somewhere. But truthfully, this is a piece of lost media which, even if it is real, it should stay buried. LOL Superman is rumoured to be a graphic and disturbing shock video. What did it contain? It contained footage of the 9/11 terrorist attack. The video copied several videos of the time, which showed the people jumping from the World Trade Center during the horrific incident. But what separates LOL Superman from many videos like it was that it was rumoured to show footage of the jumpers making contact with the ground. It's truly a tragic thing, and over 200 people are reported to have jumped from the building to avoid the fires. You may recognise this infamous photo, named The Falling Man, which captures one of the people who jumped from the World Trade Center. But back to LOL Superman. The story so far goes that in around 2006, LOL Superman was surfacing on many video sharing websites at the time. It showed the jumpers impacting the ground at high speeds, as well as showing the aftermath of the collisions. Due to its graphic nature, it was removed and reposted several times throughout many different websites. Many people recall seeing LOL Superman, adding to its infamy. In 2015, the first spike in attention was a post on the x/paranormal board on 4chan, where they recounted seeing the video back on the early days of YouTube, but it was swiftly taken down for obvious reasons. The poster stated that they really wanted to find the video, but so far they hadn't found any leads. But the main attention this one got, and probably where you may have heard it from, was a post made to the Lost Media Reddit in 2022 by Reddit user The Sketchy Dude. This post was widely reviewed and upvoted. A ton of people began looking for any sort of clues as to where this video could be, any screenshots of it, or to even see if it was real to begin with. Some of the details about the video were, it was only around 2 minutes in length, and it was very shaky. The exact time of the recording of the video isn't known, but it is absolutely certain that it had to have been recorded somewhere between the first impact in the North Tower and the collapse of the South Tower. It's unknown who recorded LOL Superman, but we do have this photograph which may show some of the people who shot the video to begin with, but it's not fully confirmed if these are the people who shot LOL Superman. People have reached out to many places in order to try and find this. Redditor Executor Max contacted the 9/11 Museum in New York, asking if they may have a copy of the footage. They replied by saying that they don't deny that they have something similar to LOL Superman, but they can't release it publicly. This doesn't outright confirm that LOL Superman is real, but it does add more speculation. The next case is Redditor CoolBig1520. He allegedly got into contact with the FBI in order to get the recording, but the FBI declined the request, saying that it was being used as evidence for an ongoing case. This seemingly confirms that footage of the jumpers colliding with the ground is real and it is out there. Whether this is actually LOL Superman or something similar, we won't really know for sure. But it is most likely that we will never see this footage publicly. And to be honest, I think that's for the best. So despite all of the rumours, the people saying they saw it, and the multiple descriptions, we don't have anything fully confirmed about this video. It may exist, it may not exist, I doubt we will ever know for sure. But the one thing that I hope everybody can agree with me on is that this thing should remain lost forever. for the sake of the victims of this horrible tragedy. This doesn't need to be found. We don't need to be reminded of such a horrible thing. We should let the memories of those we lost rest in peace. Christine Chubbuck's final broadcast. This one breaks my heart. Christine Chubbuck was born on August 24, 1944 in East Cleveland, Ohio. She began her work in television in 1966 when she worked at WVIZ in Cleveland for a year. She bounced around jobs in television and media for a while, before eventually she found herself joining ABC affiliate WXLT-TV, which is now known as WWSB. She was initially hired to be a reporter by her then boss Bob Nelson, but she was later gifted her own community affairs talk show called Suncoast Digest, which ran at 9 AM. It featured things that went on in the community, like local people, local activities, and it gave out awareness to crime happening in the area as well. Christine took her role extremely seriously, even incorporating puppets into her work as well. She was a good person, and it's a shame she never got her happy ending. Christine had dealt with depression for many years of her life. She spoke to her family often about her struggles, and she even attempted to OD in 1970. This was during a time when mental health wasn't taken nearly as seriously as it is now. There were signs at the time showing that Christine was going through something that if we were a bit more knowledgeable back then, we probably would have been able to pick up on. One of these signs was when she moved to her family's home in Siesta Key. She decorated the room like a girl in her early teens would, despite her being in her 20s at the time. Her mother never told her workplace that she had been dealing with depression, because she feared if she did, Christine would be fired. All of these silent battles that she had been dealing with, a struggling romantic life, and with no help and nobody to talk to, it led Christine to make one final decision that would go down in history. On the morning of July 15, 1974, Christine confused her co-workers by claiming that she needed to read a newscast to open up Suncoast Digest, which was something that she had never done before. The guest of the morning waited across the studio while Christine sat at the anchor's desk. For the first 8 minutes of the program, she covered 3 national news stories, and then a shooting which had taken place the previous day at a local restaurant named Beef and Bottle, which was located at the Sarasota-Bradenton airport. However, when the footage of the restaurant was supposed to be playing, it jammed and wouldn't run. Christine then looked into the camera and spoke softly, in keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news. TV40 presents what is believed to be a television first, in living colour, and exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide. Christine then withdrew a Werson Model 36 revolver and shot herself behind her right ear. She fell forward violently, and the Technicolor director faded the broadcast to black. They found out that she had actually planned to do this since she first arrived, as when they checked her notes, they found that all of it was written down. Christine was rushed to the Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she sadly lost her life. It really is sad, and it goes to show the importance of mental health awareness, and that people are battling their own demons out there, and we need to do what we can to help them out. This whole ordeal was broadcasted live, and obviously, no footage of this event had ever been seen publicly since it first aired. But that hasn't stopped people from looking for the footage, and there was a breakthrough. Not in video format, but in audio format. A recording of the event was found in 2021, and is widely accepted to be a genuine recording of her and her final moments. I'm not going to play the audio here, but it is on YouTube, but listen at your own risk, because it really is sad. This is a piece of media that I think should be locked away. Nobody needs to see this. We should let Christine rest in peace, and hopefully we can learn from this tragedy that your mental health is extremely important and should never be undervalued. The Tiger Attack of Siegfried and Roy. Siegfried and Roy were a pair of German-American entertainers who performed an animal-based magic show called Siegfried and Roy. Born Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn, the duo had met in 1959 while working on a cruise ship, and they were famously known for their Libere-style costumes and, most famously, their usage of white lions and white tigers in their acts. Siegfried was the magician, while Roy was the animal trainer. The pair were beloved and well respected in their field. The combination of their talents just worked perfectly in order to entertain loads of people. They worked their way up over the years, from European clubs and theatres, to eventually headlining their own show at the Mirage, which is a now defunct casino restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip in Paradise, Nevada. They headlined there starting from 1990, and by 1999, they had grossed over $500 million, which made them the highest paid pair of performers in all of Las Vegas. To say they were loved by a lot of people would really be an understatement. But all of this soon came to a head in 2003, when something horrible happened. After an amazing 5,750 performances over the several decades that the pair had been in the entertainment industry, their careers would soon meet a tragic end. On October 3rd, 2003, at the Mirage, Siegfried and Roy began their show by introducing their 7-year-old 400-pound white tiger named Manticore. As previously stated, they had been working with wildcats for their whole careers and reportedly treated them like family. But instead of following the planned event, Manticore incorrectly moved towards the front of the stage, heading towards the audience. Roy Horn then attempted to move Manticore back into place, but he was bitten on the sleeve. Roy lightly struck Manticore on the nose with his microphone, causing the tiger to eventually release him. As Roy retreated, Manticore leapt at him, where he knocked Roy to the ground. Manticore then sunk his teeth into Roy's neck, and dragged him off stage while the entire audience watched in horror. It took several trainers and the release of a fire extinguisher for Manticore to eventually release Roy. He was critically injured. He suffered a stroke during the ordeal, or maybe he was having one beforehand, but I'll discuss this in a minute. He had his spine severed, he lost a lot of his blood, and he suffered a permanent impairment of his motor and verbal abilities, which left him partially paralysed on his left side. As he was being taken to the hospital, Roy described Manticore to be a good cat, and he didn't want the tiger to be hurt after the ordeal. Roy thought that Manticore was actually trying to help him after the stroke. Maybe he knew that Roy was having one during the stage performance while Roy didn't know, and he was trying to help him. After all, if Manticore wanted to end Roy's life, he could have easily done so. But shortly after Roy was taken to the hospital, the entire show was cancelled. Roy spent months recovering in the hospital, but he would go on to survive the attack. But this put an end to their career. Back to the lost media side of this, the entire attack was recorded by the Mirage. But understandably, they stated that they would never release the footage to the public out of respect for Roy's privacy. The attack was very well known, with many documentaries and TV shows discussing it. Manticore the tiger passed away on March 19, 2014 at the age of 17. Roy Horn passed away on March 8, 2020 due to complications with COVID at the age of 75. And Siegfried passed the following year due to pancreatic cancer at the age of 81. The duo will be remembered for their amazing performances, but this also means that any possibility of getting this recording is highly unlikely, and I don't think that's a bad thing in this case. I think this piece of media should stay lost. I'd like these two to be remembered for being the amazing performers that they were. We know about the tragedy, and we don't need to see it in all of its gruesome details. Now that Roy and Siegfried have passed, we should let this tragedy fade away as much as we can.